Hello, guys. Welcome to the greatest talk show. We have with us Aishwarya, Lieutenant Commander, retired Navy officer. Okay, welcome, Aishwarya. Welcome. Naku, one thing, forget about all women crew or this thing, even for men, being in water for like 200 odd days, man. It's crazy. And it's so nice to బీచ్ దగ్గరికి పోయి లేకపోతే వాటర్ స్పోర్ట్స్ ఇదంతా చేయడము కొంచెం ఇట్లా సేల్ చేసి రావడము పెద్ద షిప్లో సెక్యూర్డ్ ఇట్లా ఉండడము దట్స్ డిఫరెంట్.
But to be honest, when it started off and when I got to know that, there is this, and it was again voluntary, about 30-40 women officers volunteered from across locations in Indian Navy. And వెళ్ళేటప్పుడు ఏమనిపించిందంటే, if you look at movies and usually sailboats and yachts are used only where people party. Or just have fun, they just lie around, take a sun bath. So this is what even I imagine being in Navy. Okay, ఏముంది మంచిగా చిల్ కొట్టి go around the world, visit new places and come back. This was my thought process when I went for the selection process. I had no clue what sailing was about.
Basically, you were an adventurous soul. You know that, okay, you're going to be on water for like so and so days.
No, I had no clue. What I was told even before I volunteered was you're going to stop at every country and just go meet people as a part of, diplomatic, friendly countries and just say hi, hello. There are training ships in Navy where people go. So that's what was my idea, that we are going and, we just go and meet people. My focus was not at all on sailing or being on boat, that we will be running for 200 odd days.
Okay.
The first day we go, it was our mentor who was the first Indian to circumnavigate the globe. He took us out in the boat and so we were just talking about things, and it was in Goa. So outside Goa or at the beach also, if you see, the weather is very pleasant throughout the year. Only it's monsoons little disturbed, or otherwise it is absolutely pleasant. So we went out and I was like, what fun this is. And while coming back, our mentor handed over the boat to me. It's driven by a wheel. Ichi, you see that white building, just take the boat towards a white building. So అయితే చూస్తే అక్కడ అన్ని వైట్ బిల్డింగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. So I was like, what are you referring to? So very confidently I started driving it. That time I did not even know how to drive a car, forget a boat.
Okay.
And this is a boat that runs with the help of wind. So there are a lot of factors that go in that. You see which direction the wind is coming from and you adjust the sail and then you steer it so that you go in the direction that you want to. Because the wind is the power. There is no engine or no motor that we use at sea. I don't know what I did. I just held the boat for some time and gave it back. Come to know that I am selected to be a part of the crew.
Okay.
So then I did not understand because I was the least experienced. There are smaller boats like one-man driven boats. Ikkada mana Hyderabad lo we can even see it in Hussain Sagar and Durgam Cheru, where single person can handle the entire boat and go. There were girls who were experienced in those small boats who came and volunteered. And I was the one who never rode a small boat. Then my mentor thought, I think that's good because I don't have to unlearn anything. Like everything can start afresh when I start learning about sailing. So that's how I think I was selected to become a part of the all-women crew.
That's a great perspective, right? Unlearning nowadays has become such a task.
And then I did not, even after I was selected and I went on the boat, until I went on my first open expedition. Like we left Goa and went out in the Indian Ocean. Appudu varaku I did not know what it is all about. And we went out so the first ever expedition we went independently as an all women crew. Until the time our mentor was always with us when we went on short trips from Goa to Karwar, all naval bases, Goa to Vizag and back.
So how long was those trips?
It was short trip. So Karwar is hardly few miles. If you see, it's about by road చూస్తే it's about 120 miles from Goa. So by sea when we went, it's just a day trip. పొద్దున వెళ్తే we will reach by evening. Depends on how the wind is.
Okay.
Or similarly, Cochin is like a 2 or 3 day trip. Bombay is 2-3 day trip from Goa.
ఓకే
So, and you're in the Arabian Sea, you're in
అంతా మనది
anta mana area kada. So
Yeah.
and in fact starting low, I joined the team later, but starting low when the all women crew, they were going independently. People other మా టీంలోనే మిగతా వాళ్ళు వెళ్ళేటప్పుడు there was a naval ship sent as an escort. Just in case something happens, they can help. And our boat travels at based on wind speed and travel చేస్తుంది. The maximum speed we can do on a good windy day is 6 knots, which is like 12 kilometers per hour,
ఓకే
which is hardly any speed, okay? And for a warship which has got like massive engines and better things to do, for them it was like, why are we even doing this? Like there are 200 men on a warship right next to us,
యా
and we were going on a sailboat. You can imagine, I even have a picture where international fleet review and avutundi, where every 5 years the president reviews all the ships, and sometimes we invite other countries also, to other navies across the world also to participate. So అందులో our boats were also, there is something called a parade of sails, where from the smallest sailboat to the biggest sail ship, everything is displayed to the president. So అందులో if you see, our boat is standing next to a warship, and it just looks like a speck in the ocean, right?
బట్ ఐశ్వర్య ఐ కెన్ సీ లైక్ అంటే ద వే యూఆర్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ యువర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్సెస్, లైక్ యూఆర్ టాకింగ్ సో ప్యాషనేట్లీ. ఇట్లా యూ మిస్ నేవీ?
Absolutely. I think I more than navy, I miss being at sea on the boat. So I know you were saying 200 odd days at sea, but to be honest, when you go out in the ocean, right, there is no pollution, no traffic, there is no network, and it's absolute peace and calm.
And it's very slow.
And it's at least in Indian Ocean it is very slow, because weather is pretty, because Indian Ocean, if you look at the world map, it is mostly surrounded by land, has certain blockages, right? So anta fierce until and unless there is a tsunami that's coming, there's nothing very fierce that's going to happen in Indian Ocean. So Indian Ocean is usually calm, and in fact 100% of our training before we went out happened in Indian Ocean. Out there in the ocean, it's very calm, peaceful. You see sky full of stars.
Yeah.
We don't see it these days.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So there are these sea animals that we would see. We would see dolphins every day. We would see some seabird coming and sitting on our boat. Every few days we were spotting a whale. We had something called the nautical guides, where we have fishes, and you can see, oh, this is a pilot whale.
Okay.
This is a blue. We even saw a great blue whale. And so it's very interesting and beautiful out in the ocean.
Yeah, 100%.
The only thing maybe is that you're away from the family, but I think we were used to it, because the nature of the job, being in Navy itself, requires that we are away from
Yeah.
family for long periods of
Yeah.
time. Probably we see them once in 6 months.
Yeah.
So I really loved that 3 years of training went before we went on the expedition.
Sort of training.
Basically, I would say the training was more because we had to develop our confidence that yes, we can go and take the boat independently.
Yeah.
And although we operated mostly in Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean and Atlantic are also some areas where we sailed, and they are very dynamic. Weather changes, and the temperature is generally, even in southern summers, the temperature is below 10 degrees, right? So it is something very intolerable for people like us, especially the South Indians, because we generally don't see, even in winters, we don't see such low temperatures.
Yeah.
So that is something you have to get used to that weather, while you still have to be agile and be quick and react and control the boat when the weather gets bad.
Yeah. Oh my God. So mentally prepare ayi ekkiru boat.
Yeah.
So how was it? Okay, now we are going to start. Nobody is following us. There's no rescue at అంటే దగ్గర దగ్గరలో కూడా ఉండదు అనుకుంటా కదా
స్పెసిఫికలీ Pacific Ocean. I think that's what is the challenge, where once you enter Pacific Ocean, right, you're so away from land that something happens. We end up damaging our own boat. The closest rescue to reach us will take 48 hours. That is the thing. And that too, the rescue can reach us by air only. So there can be a chopper coming close.
Okay.
And they can pick us up.
Okay.
And we don't know if that would also happen successfully, right?
How did you guys get along like that?
So I'll be very honest. So 4 years we had to spend, and out of which 8.5 months were on this expedition that we went around the globe. And do we say 8.5 months, 24 hours of the day we had to be with each other. None of us were related to each other.
Yeah.
Like, and we were not even friends, to be honest. Like, we don't know each other personally. So I had my own senior, like naval architect, who was a senior. She was my senior in IIT Delhi, who was the skipper or the captain of the boat.
Okay.
So I knew her somehow. The 6 months of training, there was an overlap, and I knew her. And then there was one who was my batchmate. So the initial training that we did in Navy, it was together. So we knew that, okay, I know this girl.
Yeah.
So that was the only acquaintance we had. So నిజం చెప్పాలంటే ఈవెన్ ఫ్యామిలీస్ ఆర్ బెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్రెండ్స్ కూడా 24 hours ఒకరితో ఒకళ్ళు ఉండరు. అండ్ ఫ్యామిలీస్లో అండ్ ఫ్రెండ్స్లో కూడా దేర్ ఆర్ ఆల్వేస్ ఫాల్ అవుట్స్, రైట్? సో వన్ లెసన్ ఐ లెర్న్డ్ ఇస్, ఇట్ వాస్ డ్యూరింగ్ దిస్ ఎక్స్పెడిషన్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ దట్ ఏం చేయలేము మనం. ఇప్పుడు గొడవ పడితే బయట వెళ్ళి దూకలేము కదా సముద్రంలో. సో
చూద్దాం చెప్తా అన్నట్టు.
బట్ దేర్ ఆర్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్స్ అది వెళ్ళి తోసేయాలనిపిస్తుంది, రైట్? ఇట్ గోస్ అప్. సో అండ్ వీ ఫాట్ ఓవర్ సిలియస్ట్. ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ న్యాచురల్ టు హ్యావ్ ఫాల్ అవుట్స్. అండ్ బట్ వాట్ ఈస్ మోర్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఈస్ వీ నెవర్ లాస్ట్ ఫోకస్ ఆన్ completing the mission. Or now, like, at no point one of the crew member came and say, I quit, I don't want to be with you guys, I just want to go back and be at peace. So of course there were instances that happened. We fought over the smallest of things. Who's going to cook today? Who's going to clean the dishes? Dan meeda kuda kottukunnamu. And the bigger things, why is the boat, why when the wind is coming from here, why are you taking the boat there, whereas going here? So we fought about everything. But see, you cannot hide what you are as a person for a very long time.
I know.
And 8.5 months is a lot of time.
And like on a small boat that too.
I cannot be Miss Goody Good all the time,
I know.
right? At some point what is inside me will come out. So of course we used to fight, but that's what I think kept us together. I still feel to date. That is why we are still, all 6 of us are still in touch with each other. Nice. Because we went through the worst times. We saw death very closely together. So because of that, whatever experience we had, there is a lot of impact for the rest of the life that we have. So there is a serious thing to be worried about instead of these petty things in life that we go through. When you are put in that situation, ఇప్పుడు ఆ సిచ్యువేషన్లో ఉన్నారు కాబట్టి ఇవన్నీ ఇగ్నరెంట్ అనిపిస్తారు. ఏదేమైనా కూడా అల్టిమేట్లీ ద గోల్ ఈస్ టు సర్వైవ్. కరెక్ట్.
వీ నీడ్ టు లివ్. సో వెన్ ఇట్ కమ్స్ టు దట్ పాయింట్ నార్మలే అనిపిస్తాను. వీ డోంట్ ఈవెన్ కేర్. ఇప్పుడు సే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇఫ్ యూఆర్ లైక్ సూపర్ హంగ్రీ, ఫుల్ ఆకలి అవుతుంది, ఆకలి ఆకలి క్రాంకీ 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 చేస్తున్న పక్కన వాళ్ళు వచ్చి పాము కరుస్తుంది.
Of course, you will focus on living.
Like ఆకలి ఏం లేదు, ఫస్ట్ హాస్పిటల్ అన్నాడు. సో దట్స్ హౌ ఐ థింక్. టెల్ మీ లైక్ ద డెత్, నియర్ డెత్ ఇన్సిడెంట్, అది డాక్యుమెంటరీలో చూసినా వాట్ యూర్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్? టాక్ టు మీ అబౌట్.
So no, I would say near death was two incidents, but one was majorly broadcasted or shown in the documentary. So the first was we got into a massive storm.
Okay.
And it was very close to Drake Passage అని ఒక ఏరియా ఉంటుంది, బిలో సౌత్ అమెరికా అండ్ అబవ్ అంటార్క్టికా. There is basically there are lot of things happening there where two huge oceans are converging. Pacific Ocean from one side and Atlantic from the other. So they are converging at a point where it becomes a very narrow passage. And there are storms passing by every other day. Seeing storms there is a very natural thing. The weather is very dynamic. There are huge waves crashing, and all that. And over that, we were monitoring this storm. So Drake Passage or Cape Horn, which is the southernmost tip of South America, is also very infamously known as the sailor's graveyard, because a lot of ships that tried to pass it in the past got damaged or destroyed because of the weather, because of very harsh weather conditions around that place.
So
And
there's no way around it. You have to pass
you
through.
have to go. So
Okay.
it is also criteria for circumnavigation of the
Oh,
globe that
okay.
you have to go below the three Great Capes.
Okay.
So below Australia, below South America, and below South Africa. So that's what makes it challenging. Otherwise, if you see normal shipping routes, ships that are going from say UK to America, they don't go below Pacific. They just go take the passage above because that is easier. So we encountered a massive storm. Adi, we were monitoring it for a very long time, like almost 2 weeks nunchi choostunam that it is passing ani.
Okay.
But we were so south, almost at 50-degree latitude, which is like very south.
Okay.
ఇంకా కొంచెం కిందకి వెళ్తే అండ్ ఇఫ్ ద విండ్ పుషెస్ అస్ మోర్ డౌన్, సో దేర్ ఈస్ టెండెన్సీ వాట్ వీ యూజువలీ ట్రై టు డూ ఇస్ బోట్ని కొంచెం పైకే ఉంచుతాం బికాస్ ద విండ్ ఈజ్ ఎనీవే గోయింగ్ టు పుషెస్ డౌన్.
Yeah, yeah.
So we were so down that we can't go below that because the wind is going to push us, and we will probably land up somewhere close to Antarctica, which is dangerous because our boat is mostly made of fiber and we can encounter icebergs. Titanic kuda avvachu.
Yeah.
So anything can happen. So we did not want to go more south, but because of that, the storm changed its direction a little and we got into the tail of the storm.
Okay.
So getting into that storm itself was that being in the tail of the storm itself lasted for about 20-24 hours.
Oh
And storm ఉన్నప్పుడు ఏంటంటే the temperature drops down once you go south. We chose to go in southern summers. In southern hemisphere it is opposite. December, January lo they have peak summers.
Okay.
So in peak summers the temperature is -5 to 10 degrees centigrade.
Okay.
Right? So that is the best you can have.
Okay.
And our time low, and when we got into the storm, it started raining so heavily that మన పక్కనున్నవాడు ఏం చెప్తున్నాడో మనకి వినిపించదు. When the storm comes, మా సేల్స్ ఏవైందో వి కంప్లీట్లీ డ్రాప్ ఇట్ డౌన్
Okay.
అండ్ వి
వదిలేస్తారు ఇక
వెరీ
nature కి.
ఒక
Like
స్టామ్ సేల్ అని ఉంటుంది. అదేంటంటే కొంచెం ఏదైనా ఇట్ టేక్స్ ద విండ్ ఆఫ్ ద స్టామ్ అండ్ ట్రైస్ టు ప్రాబబ్లీ సేవ్ అస్. అదర్వైజ్ ఐ డోంట్ నో బికాస్ ఇట్స్ అ వెరీ ఇట్ ప్రాబ్లీ ఈజ్ ద లెంత్ ఆఫ్ మై హ్యాండ్. అంత చిన్న సేల్ ఎట్లా చేస్తుందో ఇట్ ఈస్ జస్ట్ సో the sail is more, there are two sails. One is for direction, other is for power.
Okay.
So the power one was completely down. The direction one we tried to keep it a little so that we are still able to get out of going south.
Okay. కానీ స్టామ్ ఉన్నప్పుడు కెన్ వి కంట్రోల్ ద షిప్ విత్
We had to because the thing was there were many conditions that were impacting us. One was the rain. Even though we were wearing our rain gear, it was falling on our ice. So the visibility is not there. Plus it was getting dark. The storm, we entered the storm around 5 or 6 in the evening.
Oh.
It was getting dark. It was raining. And then the waves were the most dangerous, I would say. There is a scale on which the sea state is measured. And it was the worst. Sea state was around 6, which is so there is a joke that sea state 1 I am taking a swim, sea state 2 I am holding the wheel, sea state 3 and so on. And when it comes to sea state 6 it's like God save us. So the waves were about 9 meters high, so as high as a 3-story building.
లైక్ అ మూవీ.
Yeah. So for us it is important to turn the boat in a way so that we end up riding the wave. If the wave comes and crashes on us, it is a lot of intensity and lot of water, right? There are chances that the boat breaks.
Yeah.
So it was very important, although we could not do anything about the rainfall. The only thing, because of these massive waves we could do was ride them. and it took a lot of physical power to control the boat in such a storm. We were 6 of us, and 3 of us had to take turns where in the night one person is listening to the direction where the wave is coming from and say, okay, left, or
So that's during the night.
that's during the night. And we were awake all through the night. And one person is telling where the boat is coming from, and 2 people are pulling the wheel so that we change and ride that wave. And there were instances during the night where massive wave came crashing. There was this one freak wave. We also ended up capturing inside the boat what happened, where it came and crashed. Freak wave is something that you cannot predict the direction. It suddenly comes and crashed from somewhere.
Okay.
So I was inside the boat. I don't know, I probably had an instinct. I held up to, if you look in the boat inside, there are handles, things to hold on everywhere. So I held on to a handle tightly, and I literally swung. And there was another girl sitting right in front of me who flew from one side to other, hit her head on the boat and fell.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah. And outside there were 3 people controlling the boat, right? And you look outside, water is coming inside, flowing inside from entire sea water is coming inside. And outside I said, there's nobody on the deck. Can't see.
Oh my God.
Our captain was on the wheel. Okay. So it's very lucky that we always gave safety the most importance, that once the sea state crosses a certain level, all of us have to wear our safety harnesses. Side of the hook is closer to me, and the other side is hooked onto the boat. And there is a strap that runs across the boat. I can drag it and
get on the boat, like even if it breaks, it's maybe.
Yeah, I'm held on to my harness. So that saved her life. Otherwise, she would have fallen. And the sea state that we were in, although we were trained in life saving and all that, we would have probably not spotted her if she had fallen off boat.
That happened in the night, right?
And it happened in the night. It's very difficult. Although our life jackets have the flash on them and the blip goes off and all that.
Compared to the big ocean, man, like what would small lights
We
do?
were a small speck.
Yeah, right.
That's all. And nobody would have known where we would have gone if that night we did not stay focused and try to take the boat in control. Say if we ended up fighting at that point, right? Ante kada inka. It is our life at stake. I would be very honest, we probably did not even speak to each other because everyone knew what they were doing, and we were focused more towards saving our lives and saving our boat.
So intense. అంటే ఇట్లా 20 hours ఆ kind of intensity పెట్టాలి అని అంటే only, I think it only happens when you have to save your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also,
and those 20 hours, probably something that was running in the mind was, we don't know if we are going to see tomorrow. Atlantic situation అయిపోయింది.
ఎంత స్కేరీ ఉంటుంది.
చాలా. It was very scary. It's like, it may sound like, very heroic or something, but at that point, I still get tears in my eyes when I remember that day. That I always, when I'm going through a bad phase, I look at that day and I say, nothing can be worse than that. Right?
Oh my God. అప్పుడు అనిపించిందా, అరే why did I even sign up for this, man? Or okay, I signed up for this, if the ocean wants to take me away, okay, I'm here అన్నట్టు అసలు అంత ఆలోచించే ఇదన్నీ ఉంటుందా?
So I think, why did I sign up for this, very initial days లో వచ్చింది నాకు. When I think there had to be sort of a judgment made by me whether I want to continue my career in shipbuilding, which I really loved. I really loved repairing ships. And when you look at a ship, you're like, oh, this is something that I have made me immensely proud. But this was something very different.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
You don't, every day somebody doesn't come and tell you that you're going around the world on a sailboat and we don't know if you're going to come back alive. Right? But I know there was a lot of risk on this side, and people also say that if you go into an adventure activity, especially in the armed forces, then you are no longer you probably won't have a career in Navy.
ఓకే అవునా అట్లా
Because it is outside your domain, right?
ఓకే
So you cannot flourish both ways.
యా
That's how it is.
యా బట్
So-
హౌ యా టెల్ మీ కంటిన్యూ
So then I think that is one decision. And second ఏమైందంటే we went on first initial like a learning trip from Goa to Mauritius. And అప్పుడు ఏంటంటే I was not prepared that there can be rain coming in the night or whatever. So there is something called a watch system where we were 6 girls, so we would do a 4-hour watch system where for 4 hours we are responsible for whatever happens outside and to make sure that we are controlling the boat or taking it in the right direction.
సో that'll be on a single person for that
Two people.
Okay, two people. Okay.
Because we were 6.
Okay.
And if you see the boat also, there are 2 wheels.
Yeah.
With both you can control it. Both are connected to the steering.
Okay.
So it based on which direction the boat is falling, because the wind sort of tilts it to a direction.
Yeah.
You can see better from the other wheel.
Yeah.
Something like that. So in middle of the night it started raining heavily. And we did not have, I did not even know, we did not have time. There is a rain gear that we have. Even if we see a cloud, we wear it.
Okay.
బట్ ఆ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ టైంలో మంచిగా కూర్చుని రాత్రి ముచ్చట్లు చెప్పుకుంటూ ఉంటే అప్పుడు వర్షం స్టార్ట్ did not have time to put the rain gear on. We had to rush, and usually whenever the rain comes, there can be wind coming from any direction, so we just slow down the boat. That's the thing. That's the first thing we do. So వెళ్ళి అది చేసేసరికి I was completely drenched, shivering. So that's when I thought ఎందుకు వచ్చాను ఇక్కడ మంచిగా. I was posted in Port Blair. And
Oh my god.
it's like heaven on earth. I was like మంచిగా అక్కడ ఏదో కొంచెం అది ఇది చేసుకుని ఉండేదాన్ని, ఇక్కడ ఎందుకు వచ్చానని అనుకున్నాను అనమాట. బట్ after I got used to it, I was like, this is more interesting than going back to what I was doing.
Yeah.
So there is a boat that went around the world twice before Tarini. That's Madhai. So Madhai was like more of a training boat. And Tarini was built exclusively for this expedition that we were going. It was built by a builder called Aquarius Shipyard, which is based out of Goa again. So we went through the entire construction process, and because of my background, we could suggest some things we don't need a bunk that accommodates a man who is 6 feet tall, right?
Yeah.
We can probably take a shorter bunk and use that extra space for storage, because we are 6 of us, we have a lot of things to take.
Also all women crew.
Yeah.
Just kidding, but yeah.
So there are a lot of sailing races that happen, and they are quite different from a circumnavigation. Now circumnavigation is like doing a mountaineering expedition. There are races that happens. So it's like running a sprint race and doing a marathon. The circumnavigation we did is a marathon. There are races, and people are very, very passionate about races. Sailing has always been also an Olympic activity where there are sailing races that happen. And there is something called a regatta, where each sailing club, we have one in Bombay, one in Madras, Chennai, one in Orissa, and so on. They host sailing events for the club.
Okay.
So because of the nature and because we became so popular as the female sailors, I get invited once in a while. So office nunchi leave తీసుకొని మరి I go and take part in those.
Nice.
So last year, I think it's going to happen next month, again in Chennai. So last year, Chennai lo there was a sailing regatta, and we decided to form a all girl team again.
Oh, nice.
So it was me, my captain from my circumnavigation, and 3 girls who are NCC Sea cadets, like NCC Navy wing.
Okay.
So we participated in the race, and we in fact won the most promising team award.
Oh, nice. Again.
So yeah, so that's how I continue to go back to sailing. To be honest, the water bodies, we have seen the ocean, right? It's so clean. So the water in Hyderabad is not the most ideal for sailing, although we have sailing happening here. But I would probably want my son to also pick up sailing. I had a fear of water as a kid, fear of oceans. So I already tested it out. He naturally doesn't have the fear. So I just want to like pick sailing as a sport because it's so unique and it's one of a kind. So I thought,
Yeah.
just
Also, like, when did you get married? After?
yeah, I was engaged to be married before I sailed out.
Oh my God. Tough
ఇన్ఫాక్ట్
choice.
మా నాన్న అయితే ఇంకా పెళ్లి చేసి వెళ్ళిపో
Ah.
అండ్ లైక్ మై హస్బెండ్ విల్ కమ్ టు ఎవ్రీ పోర్ట్ అండ్ వీ కెన్ లైక్ హ్యావ్ హనీమూన్ దట్ ఈస్ నాట్ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ డూయింగ్ నేను చేసేది అది కాదు ఐ థింక్ యూ డోంట్ అండర్స్టాండ్ సో ఐ సెడ్ ఐ విల్ ఓన్లీ గెట్ బ్యాక్ ఇఫ్ ఐ గెట్ బ్యాక్ ఐ విల్ దెన్ గెట్ మ్యారీడ్
But like, he's patient. అంటే
yeah. If you meet him, you will know that he's the first thing you notice about him is a very calm and patient guy because he waited for like 8.5 months.
And he has no idea if you're gonna come back alive or not.
Yeah, there was I think we had a lot of pressure at sea to finish it successfully, but the family also had a lot of, I would say, lot going in their mind because they knew they see. So we sent out these position reports every day. It would also go to our family. So just to make it simpler, we would send our lad long, right? They don't understand. So we had someone from our mentor's family putting a picture of a boat on a world map just to show where we are. So it sort of gives some assurance to them that okay, they have reached here. Wind condition is good.
Yeah.
So we would always, no matter, even if we are in middle of a storm, we would say wind condition good.
Yeah.
So
అంతే
that
కదా, at
they
least
get
వాళ్ళని,
this వాళ్ళు బట్ దెన్ వాళ్ళకు కూడా ఉంటుంది కదా దే ఆల్సో హ్యావ్ దట్ ఫియర్ ఏమవుతుంది ఏంటి దేవ్ నెవర్ సో ఇట్స్ లైక్ విమెన్ ఇన్ ఇండియన్ నేవీ నెవర్ వెంట్ అవుట్ టు సీ అండ్ దీస్ గర్ల్స్ ఆర్ గోయింగ్ అరౌండ్ ద వరల్డ్
Yeah.
సో అది వాళ్ళకి ఆ టెన్షన్ ఉంటుంది ఆల్దో వి టు గివ్ దెమ్ దట్ కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ వీ టుక్ దెమ్ ఆన్ స్మాల్ sortie outside Goa and say this is what we do.
Okay.
So they at least know that okay, ఇక్కడ చేస్తున్నారంటే అక్కడ కూడా చేస్తారు.
Yeah, so now you have a kid, right? How old is he?
He's 3.5. What I try to do is number one is what I decided when my son was growing up or what we decided as parent was he always sees neutral parenting, like it's not like only mom is cooking and cleaning and dad is sitting and watching TV, whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
We ensure that he sees that both of us take equal responsibility of the house as much as of our work.
Yeah.
So it is not because I don't want him to form an opinion that only women can do certain things and men can. And so that he doesn't, because I don't want him to grow in such an environment.
True.
So there was this one day where he comes back from school and say, "Nuvu ammayivi, nuvenduku drive chestunavu," right?
Yeah.
And I was so shocked. I said, "Who told you this?" So then he's like, "My teacher told me this." I said, "Tell her my mom has taken a boat around the world."
Yeah,
And you're saying women can't drive.
They have to go into the world.
Society. And
Yeah.
their society again comes with expectation that
Yeah.
see if my son wants to wear payal ఎందుకంటే గజ్జల్ సౌండ్ వస్తే నాకు నచ్చుతుందని బట్ దెన్ పీపుల్ స్టార్ట్ ఈజ్ ఇట్ అ గర్ల్
Yeah.
why there should be an opinion, right?
Yeah. But great. ఇంకోటి, so why this adventure అనేది అనుకున్నాం?
So I think there is a general opinion that if there is got something to do with land, say doing mountaineering expeditions, it's usually done by the army. Something by air, like there were, you saw like most recently our Prime Minister announced Gaganyaan, where 4 astronauts, all 4 are Air Force officers.
Yeah.
So anything to do with sky or the space is going to the Air Force, and then anything to do with ocean is done by Navy.
Oh yeah.
So what is the biggest thing that can be done by land? It is summiting Mount Everest.
Yeah.
So there are teams from army in the past who have gone. So and by air, is, of course, now there is a space expedition coming up, but there were a lot of other things, like there is an acrobatic teams that Air Force has. There is a around the world circumvention, they call it, where they go around the world on flights that are mostly powered by solar power.
Okay.
That's also incredible. They fly only in the morning. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it is done, but yeah, that's also something that's done. And they take stops in between
So
till the time the power
అన్నిట్లో
carries them.
అడ్వెంచర్ సైడ్ అయితే ఉంది లైక్
Undi.
ఓకే ఓకే
So Navy law, there was not many. So deep sea diving can be one. So then I think
ఫ్రీ డైవింగ్ లైక్ వితౌట్ ఎనీ ఆక్సిజన్ అట్లాంటిది ఏమైనా ఉందా నేవీలో లేదా
so. Diving basically in Navy is used mainly the diver's purpose is say ship ki a fishing net they so that's how the divers are trained or to go and plant some weapons. So that is the main reason. Otherwise scuba diving and all have been done in the past. There is also a special submarine rescue thing, goes and rescues in case the submarine sinks.
ఓకే
There is a special wing that is trained for that.
ఓకే
So that all comes under the regular Navy work.
ఓకే
Adventure వచ్చేసరికి Navy has this sailing, I would say race events that happen. And then a thought came that why don't Indian do a circumnavigation? Because circumnavigation is considered the biggest adventure that can be done by sea and the most challenging one. And in fact, it is said that there are more people who have submitted Mount Everest, more people who have gone to outer space than the ones that are circumnavigated the globe. So that makes it more challenging.
యా
So Atla, it was like two men. Our mentor was the first Indian to circumnavigate the globe. And then they decided that one man should go and do it solo and non-stop.
ఓకే
And that's when they said, okay, women have never gone to sea. Women from other countries, navies have not gone on a circumnavigation. So let us go. So we are the first Indian all-female crew. We are the first military crew,
ఓకే
male or female, across the globe who have done a circumnavigation. Yeah. So coincidentally, our time low, the government's agenda was also Nari Shakti. So then Air Force introduced women into fighter aircrafts,
ఓకే
right? Until then, women were not flying the fighter jets. It was all other aircraft except the fighter jets.
యా
So women were introduced. And we were already training at that time. So suddenly our expedition came into limelight because it's an all-women crew that's training, right?
ఓకే
And we went and met the Prime Minister. Women's agenda was Nari Shakti, Make in India, and a lot of things like Atmanirbharta, self-sufficiency.
యా
So our expedition sort of got all that. Our boat is completely made in India.
ఓహో ఓకే
And it's an all-female crew.
Nice.
So it sort of probably sits with that agenda, but yeah, so everything fell into place. And I would say we received a lot of encouragement from the government. And a lot of eyes fell on us when we were doing the expedition. And so it's like performance pressure, right? Now you have to do it right.
యా నైస్ ఓ మై గాడ్ సో నేను ఇట్లా ఫుల్ ఇన్వాల్వ్ అయిపోయిన స్టోరీలో యూ ఆల్వేస్ వాంటెడ్ టు గెట్ ఇన్ టు నేవీ ఆర్
Not really. Actually, to be honest, my school was located in KV Hakimpet, which is inside an Air Force station. So Chinnapudu, I used to look at the aircraft and think, maybe I want to become a pilot.
ఓకే
Then I don't know, after finishing college, I think one major decision that I had to make, everyone, I think, if you are an engineer from Hyderabad, you will think of going for masters to US.
యా
So I think my father told me that, don't start your education or life with a loan, okay? Work for a few years and then if you're still interested to go, you go. So then I started applying everywhere. So I don't know, so we were all doing an internship. So my initial idea was to get into the DRDOs as a scientist.
Okay.
But when we finished college, that was the year DRDO stopped the scientist entrance test. So I was working as an intern for a stipend of probably 8,000 rupees, which was a lot of money for me because I was at home,
Yeah.
go and come back, and 8,000 was a lot. So then I was like, no, I want to get into a six-figured salary bracket. And I started applying. Generally, if you're a metallurgist, we end up applying to steel plants and heavy industries.
Yeah.
And very shockingly, none of them were very keen on interviewing or taking in a female candidate.
Okay.
Right? So some even replied to me saying it involves a lot of field work. So sorry, we can't take you. So
How can you say that? Yeah.
So I know the world has changed. I'm hoping things have changed now.
Do you think so, Aishwarya?
People like me at least are working to change such things or perception about how much women can handle physically also. So I really don't think there is a lot of difference on how if a man can stand out in the sun for 8 hours, so can a woman. Like my Navy training has taught me that. So I don't see a lot of difference. Maybe the way things women operate and men operate are
Different. Yeah.
like different, but not the capability with which they can do it.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, I think it differentiate. There is a difference between person to person. So then I saw when the Navy advertisement came, it did not mention the gender or did not say what women are specifically required to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So which sort of attracted me, and I thought, why not go to a place which, at the look of it sounds to give an equal opportunity to a man and a woman.
Yeah.
So that's how
At the look of it.
Yeah.
Then what happened? Expectations anan gaani, was it like fair enough?
So I would say you need to have a significant number of women to make that impact, right?
Yeah.
And throughout my 10 years, wherever I was posted in Navy, I would be in situations where I am the only women officer for about 40-50 men, or I am the only women, or we were one or two against. It's like so it's like I was the only girl. So it's very easy to say one day I'm not well and I'm staying back. They say today I cannot come.
Yeah.
It's very easy to pass a comment that అమ్మాయి కాబట్టి రావట్లేదని. And the same thing a guy does, it doesn't make, because there are 100 others who are ready to come.
True.
Right?
The world
So
is
it's
like that.
Yeah, it's like a woman has to work twice harder just to prove that she's equal to a man, just to prove she's equal, not even higher or something.
Yeah. So did you watch Animal movie?
Yes.
Animal Dune 2.
Dune to know.
Okay.
So
So then I have an interesting contradicting to whatever you're saying. So ఇది ఎట్లా చేస్తావో చెప్పు. I'm like nothing against or anything. Animal మూవీలో సార్ టు లిక్ మై షూస్ అని అంటాడు, లైక్ ఆర్ డూ సంథింగ్ అని అంటారు. సో హౌ కెన్ యూ డూ దాట్ అని. ఓకే, అది పెద్ద ఇది అయిపోయింది. డ్యూన్ 2 మూవీలో సేమ్ సీన్, లైక్ హీ లాస్ట్ హిస్ బ్రదర్ టు డూ దట్, లైక్ డూ ఇట్ అని చేసిండు. సో వెన్ దెర్ ఈస్ నో డిఫరెన్స్ అయితే ఉంది కదా డిఫరెన్స్, లైక్ యూ షుడ్ నాట్ ట్రీట్ ఉమెన్ లైక్ దట్. కెన్ యూ లైక్ ట్రీట్ మెన్ లైక్ దట్?
see, the problem is somehow in the movies, right? Although women are given good character roles and all, somehow they are also very sexually objectified.
Yeah.
Right? So it sort of appears that the woman is always, expected to probably make a man fall in love with her and change everything. I don't know why
అట్లా వస్తుంది.
why it should be shown that way. Why can't she be shown as a powerful character where she's coming and trying to kill him as an assassin or something?
Yeah.
So I have a general problem with women being objectified. Okay. So when it comes to this licking the shoe incident, that I think it's pretty. If the girl would have done that, nobody would have probably said. If a girl
Yeah.
said "lick my shoe,"
Yeah.
they would have said, "What a powerful
Yeah,
girl!" Right?
yeah. That I don't know. I don't know how to take it. And I think ultimately, end of the day, it comes down to respect. Is what I
Yeah.
believe. Like just respect the human being, man. Like it's not women or men. I think if you have the
Correct.
respect,
I think
for
the
a human
day
being,
that happens, I think people will no longer say, if I am, say, uh, the world is changing a little where probably when it comes to cameraman, director,
Yeah.
or, the chairman, the words have transformed to camera person. It doesn't really
Yeah.
say whether the person working behind the camera is a
Yeah.
girl or a boy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it is changing, but it will take a lot
Long
of
way
time.
to go. Yeah. So I was in Goa Gotana. I'm excited about beach, sunset, and like okay, water and all. You guys were there in the ocean for so long, 8.5 months, and beautiful sight where, oh my God, this is where we are living on.
Very surreal incidents that happen at sea. So one such thing was the auroras. Now the aurora australis are the lights that you see around the North Pole. So
Light.
yeah, the entire sky lights up in green.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
a phenomena. It's like a chemical effect where because of the magnetic waves.
Northern lights under Atlantic.
Northern lights.
Okay.
So northern lights are easier to see. You can go to Russia. You
Yeah.
can go to Greenland.
Mm.
It can be seen from land.
Mm.
But what makes southern lights special is the same phenomena happens around the South Pole, and there is not a lot of land. So only place where you can witness is from the sea. So and not everyone ventures so south, so much south. So you need to go beyond 50-degree latitude to be able to see southern lights.
They're scared of life. Like
Yeah. So you have to go to
they can't go.
you have to go down, more down. So nobody goes there. And it was very lucky that when we were in the Pacific Ocean, we got to see these southern lights. The entire sky turned. Unfortunately, we had the worst possible cameras.
Yeah.
We could not capture that moment. And even if you'd have captured it, it would not have done justice to what we witnessed that night. It was the most beautiful thing that we saw. And there is another phenomena called the bioluminescence, where closer to islands or land masses, there are certain chemical particles, very minute particles that are present in the ocean. And when there is a movement, it's like there are fireflies in the sea. And
Yeah.
it's like a green trail is following you because our boat is
Yeah.
sort of moving in the water, right?
Straight from the movie called
Life of Pi.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was most of the things that you see in Life of Pi, we saw it, but there was no tiger on board. But it's
About
beautiful.
the fish jumping from
Yeah,
అవునా?
there are
అవి
lots
కూడా
of so flying fish. There are lots of flying fish that we see, and flying fish ఏంటంటే they used to come and fall on the boat. So there is a girl, one of our crew member is from Northeast. So till we finished half the journey, or probably we reached Falkland Islands, she did not know that flying fish is edible.
ఓ లేకపోతే ఫీస్ట్ పార్టీలు అవుతుండేనేమో.
సో అప్పటి నుంచి ఏం చేసిందంటే పొద్దునే షీ వుడ్ ఆల్రెడీ ప్రిపేర్ అ మ్యారినేషన్ అండ్ గో ఆన్ ద డెక్. Whatever flying fish is lying on the boat, usually what we do is if we see that it is still flapping around, we would throw it back in the ocean. మా అమ్మాయి వదిలిపెట్టలేదు అనమాట.
So you guys didn't know that it was edible.
Yeah,
until
somebody
this.
told us that the flying fish is
But
edible.
did you guys risk it? అంటే కన్ఫర్మ్ చేసుకోరా ఎవరికైనా కాల్ చేసి ఆర్ యు ష్యూర్ దిస్ ఇస్ ఎడిబుల్ టైప్?
She ate it. She's alive and kicking. So this podcast is where I announce that flying fish is edible.
Oh, nice. That's it, guys. Flying fish is edible. You can eat. అయినా ఎవరు పోతారు ఐశ్వర్య అంత లోపలికి? మీరంటే వేరు ధైర్యంతో. అంటే చాలా డీప్ ఓషన్లోనే ఉంటాయి అనుకుంటా ఫ్లైయింగ్ ఫిష్. లైక్ యూ కాంట్ జస్ట్ లైక్ ఫైండ్ దెమ్.
Yeah, and there are people who catch flying fish, but apart from that, there are very few because ships are very high.
Yeah.
The regular ships that
అవును,
go.
అవును, అవును.
So there may be very less chances of వచ్చి deck మీద పడి
అవును.
you pick it up.
Like flying means is they'll just jump, I think.
Yeah, they just fly
Airline
across.
ఉంటాయి అంతే.
So it's like flying fox. It
Okay,
just
yeah.
jump across from sea
Yeah.
over the boat to the other side.
Yeah, that's good. How are things going now in your life? Like, what are you doing? What are you working as?
So I'm working for a corporate organization. So a lot of corporates do veteran hiring where people who have served country in Army, Navy, Air Force, they hire them. And it is called diversity, equity, inclusion. So that's how I got into a corporate organization. So whatever lessons I have learned, I'm the biggest, I would say, advocate of diversity and inclusion because say it may not be applicable in the media industry where how different you are in appearance or physically or whether there is diversity in gender or whether the diversity in terms of LGBTQ or physical disability. So it should not sort of put a judgment on the way we work, right? So I really strive towards making sure that the diversity, equity, inclusion is there. And I think sharing my story is one of the possible arenas I see where I can probably demonstrate to women or men that women are equally capable, and we have already done it,
Yes.
and we have done it at such a big platform.
Yeah.
Then why can't we do it at normal workspaces,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
Where you are, the only requirement is you sit in front of a computer and work, right? We don't know. It should not be based on your capability. Cannot be judged based on your gender or your orientation or
Physical disability.
physical disability. Yeah.
Yeah. So you are working on that, like, and bringing this diversity
As
in
much
the
as possible.
corporate office. How is it going? Like, how are you achieving? Like, how is it?
Great. I do try to reach out or be an advocate whenever such events happen. And probably I think because my story is quite different and impactful, it does have there were people or my colleagues who come and introduce their daughter to me and say, one day probably you also join the Navy or you do. So I always say that we should always do what interests us. Probably when you were in college, you never knew that you're going to pick up a camera and shoot
Yeah.
movies, right? Because that would not be shown as the profession you should be. But alternate careers are so important. Like they are the livelihood of what happens around the regular engineers or doctors,
100%.
which are only looked at as professions.
ఐ థింక్ దట్ హ్యాస్ చేంజ్డ్ ఎ లాట్. ఎందుకంటే మనం చదువుకుంటున్నప్పుడు అయితే అరే ఇంజనీరింగ్ చేసుకో లేకపోతే డాక్టర్గా లేకపోతే ఇట్లాంటి అంటే బేసిక్కే చాలా ఇట్లా 4-5 ఉంటుండే అనుకుంటాం మనకు.
Correct.
నౌ లైక్ ఇట్ ఓపెన్డ్ అప్. లైక్ ఇంటర్మీడియట్ అయిపోగానే ఏం చదువుతాము, లైక్ లెట్స్ జస్ట్ ద పీపుల్ హూ ఆర్ డూయింగ్ బిజినెస్ వెన్ దే జస్ట్ పాస్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ లైక్ 10th అయిపోయాగానే బిజినెస్ స్టార్ట్ చేసుకుంటారు అండ్ దే ఆర్ సక్సెస్ఫుల్ టు. సెండింగ్ మై సన్ టు అ స్కూల్ వేర్ వాళ్ళ స్కూల్లో 10th క్లాస్కి వచ్చే వరకు దే స్టార్ట్ దర్ ఓన్ బిజినెస్ అండ్ దే ఫ్యూ పీపుల్ ఆర్ ఈవెన్ సక్సెస్ఫుల్ ఇన్ దర్ బిజినెస్ అండ్ ఐ డోంట్ నో ఇఫ్ దే ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు కంటిన్యూ దర్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఆర్ నాట్. కానీ education is important. You can actually focus on alternate careers than like the traditional that engineering.
run-of-the-mill
Yeah, that's good. What do you want to tell people or women or men? Definitely knowing your story, నీ story విన్న తర్వాత అయితే it just gives us goosebumps. I mean, we can't even imagine that whatever you guys might have gone through, like only people who did that knows the feeling. Or ఆ స్టేజ్ నుంచి వచ్చిన నువ్వు or your team is an extreme thing. So coming from there and living a normal life today in a corporate world, like does something bother you? Like
Yeah, there is one thing in particular I would say that bothers me, that specifically when it comes to women, uh, when it comes to hiring women in an organization, it is just a, I would say, a tick box activity, right? When you see that, okay, in a team of 20, I need at least 8 women, right? So I would say it is like, it is ensured that there are 8 women. What those 8 women do, what roles they are coming in, whether you want a woman to be a manager or, to be heading the organization, it's a tick box activity which bothers me, right?
Okay.
And
టిక్ బాక్స్ యాక్టివిటీ అంటే
అంటే women unnaru.
అంతే
so when-
ఉన్నారా అంటే ఉన్నారు
say-
బికాజ్ ఓకే
If I, as a interviewer, come and ask you, how do you do diversity? And you say, yeah, we have 40% women, right? So what are those 40%? How many of them are in role that can make a change? This question can also go to politicians. How many Lok Sabha members are there in the cabinet who are in significant roles that can change the direction that our country goes?
యా
It is just, even in the cabinet, because there is 33% women reservation, it is a tick box activity. I feel strongly,
Yeah.
but there are powerful women who are changing the way people think.
I think the only thing solution for this is to stand for themselves. ఎవరన్నా నీ గురించి మాట్లాడమని, అరే నీకేమని ఉందా, అరే డైరెక్ట్లీ యూ కెన్ స్టాండ్ ఫర్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్ అండ్ అరే
Yeah.
యూ లుక్ ఎట్ ద అచీవ్మెంట్ డూడ్.
But to be honest, there are women who do so much and వాళ్ళ గురించి వాళ్ళు చెప్పుకోరు. It is just, I think somehow something is holding them back, which
I think the
which is a
society.
it is like, say there is a couple who are very successful doctors, but the child turns out to be an absolute rogue, okay?
Yeah.
It's always the mother who is blamed. Or it's like, ఏం సరిగ్గా చూసుకోలే నువ్వు ఫోకస్డ్ ఓన్లీ ఆన్ యువర్ కెరియర్. బట్ దట్స్ నెవర్ సెట్ టు అ మ్యాన్.
అవర్ జనరేషన్, ఇప్పుడు ఈ జనరేషన్ చేంజ్ అవుతుందేమో మేబీ గోయింగ్ ఫార్వర్డ్.
బట్ ద థింగ్ ఈజ్, ద పేరెంట్స్ ఆర్ స్టిల్ ఫ్రమ్ దట్ జనరేషన్, రైట్? సో దేర్ ఆర్ ఎక్స్పెక్టేషన్స్. ఐ డోంట్ నో, it will take time to go towards that, but women should also come out and voice out, which is happening, but it's happening at a very slow pace.
అంటే కార్పొరేట్లో కూడా ఇట్లా ఉందా ఐశ్వర్య?
One of the reasons I left Navy, one of the reasons, not the main reason, was there is bureaucracy where
ఆఫీస్
may not be that being a woman it made a difference. Yes, being a woman definitely made a difference, but there are other things that, probably they wanted a guy who has gone to the sea on a warship, not a girl who has gone to the sea on a sailboat, which I personally think that it's more challenging. Okay, so they did not take me. And that doesn't call out for equal opportunity.
Yeah.
So there is a preconceived, or there is a judgment already inside that so probably if you're interviewing a candidate, you already have something. Okay, she's a woman, so she's a woman, she's a mother of 2 children, so maybe she will not be able to give 100% commitment.
Will this not come to count that okay, these guys did a circumnavigation throughout the world?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. So I can't say the person who is, say I am speaking on phone, and the guy says, sir, we have an offer for you, and I say, yeah, tell me, and they realize, okay, it's a girl. Say, no, oh, okay, we'll call you back. Right? So there is a judgment that people already form for what women can do.
ఇక తర్వాత విన్నారు ఉమెన్ అనగానే నెక్స్ట్ స్టోరీ విన్నారు.
అది.
ఇంకా ఎనీథింగ్ ఐశ్వర్య, లైక్ హౌ డిడ్ యూ లైక్ దిస్? ఇట్స్ అ గుడ్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్. ఐ విల్ డూ మై బెస్ట్ టు లైక్ జస్ట్ పుష్ ఇట్ అవుట్, బట్ ఎనీథింగ్ దట్ యూ వాంట్ టు సే బిఫోర్ వి ర్యాప్ ఇట్ అప్?
I think nothing. It's great. Usually I am not the most camera friendly person. If you see most of my interviews that are available, I don't speak so freely. And I think today here I just opened up about whatever I wanted to say.
Nice.
And it's great. Yeah. And more people should do it. I
I
hope.
think so, yeah.
Yeah, I
See,
wish.
ప్రతి ఒక్కరు నేనే నా ఫీలింగ్ ద రీజన్ వై ఐ స్టార్టెడ్ దిస్ ఈజ్ ఎవ్రీబడి హ్యాస్ ఎ వాయిస్ మ్యాన్, నాట్ జస్ట్ ఎ సెలబ్రిటీ హూ ఈస్ లైక్ ఫేమస్ ఆన్ స్క్రీన్ ఆర్ ఇట్లా కాకుండా లాట్ ఆఫ్ హీరోస్ లైక్ ఇప్పుడు నార్మల్గా ఇప్పుడు వాచ్మెన్ దగ్గరికి పోతే కూడా హీ హ్యాస్ ఎ
Everyone has a story. Yeah.
లైక్ సి హూ పిక్ సమ్ వన్ హూ యూ కెన్ టాక్ టు ఆర్ అరే ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ స్టోరీ వెళ్తుంది ఇంట్లో నుంచి అండ్ జస్ట్ షో దెమ్ షో పీపుల్ దట్ దెర్ ఆర్ రియల్ లైఫ్ హీరోస్ టు రైట్. ఐ వాజ్ సూపర్ ఎక్సైటెడ్, నేను ఇట్లా నీ స్టోరీలో ఇండల్జ్ అయిపోయినా అండ్ ఐ వాంటెడ్ టు నో మోర్. ఐఎమ్ షూర్ దెర్ ఇస్ అ లాట్ దట్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఇన్ స్టోర్ టు టాక్ అండ్ టెల్ అబౌట్, కానీ ఇట్స్ సో అమేజింగ్ మ్యాన్ వాట్ యూ గైస్ డిడ్. ఇట్లా నేనైతే అభినవ్ చెప్పినప్పుడు స్టోరీ, ఓ మై గాడ్ ఐ నీడ్ టు వాచ్ దిస్ డాక్యుమెంటరీ. ఫస్ట్ ఒకసారి చూసిన కపుల్ ఆఫ్ ఇయర్స్ బ్యాక్ అండ్ ఐ రీసెంట్లీ వాచ్డ్ ఇట్ అగైన్ బిఫోర్ ఇంటర్వ్యూయింగ్ యూ.
Yeah.
సూపర్. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ కమింగ్
Thank you so
ఐశ్వర్య.
much.
యా
Wish you a lot of success.
థ్యాంక్ యూ. దిస్ ఈజ్ మై ఫోర్త్.
Yeah.
ఫోర్త్లా